Hey, I'm Guy.
I'm John.
This is our YouTube channel. Subscribe to it. Give this video a like.
Yep. Like it. Podcast below in the description. Subscribe.
All right. We had the Tua versus Herbert game, and Tua looked good. Herbert looked good. Just eyeball test. One thing I think is pretty clear. Does Vrabel count as Belichick's tree? Because Brian Flores is clearly Belichick's
Yeah, I mean,
tree.
I think if you play for him for a while, I think he gets considered. He's probably more truly Urban Meyer's tree, but I think, because then Bill O'Brien hired him. I think there's a Patriot. He's viewed as a Patriot.
Here's the
Don't
point.
you think?
Yeah, he's viewed as a Patriot. Yeah. The Chargers have really good players. The Dolphins organization. Tua is just, they're winning games, and Tua doesn't have to do any of the stuff Herbert has to do. Like, we thought Tua, when they drafted him, he's going to play for the Dolphins. This could be ugly for a few years. It's the opposite. It's turning into like Tua can just kind of take his time, and they're just going to win games that way. It's kind of crazy. It's really impressive.
Maybe they believe this internally, whether Tua played or not, that they were going to have a solid team. I think it's fair to say that everyone on the outside, probably including the majority of Dolphins fans, thought they were a year or two away, right? They had all these draft picks from guys. They're actual good players that they had traded in Minka and in Tunzel. Like, part of it wasn't this year. It was the next couple years.
Right. They didn't just draft a left tackle. They drafted a guy that people are like, well, he's really young. He's going to need some development.
Yeah, even the guys they drafted needed time. Even their quarterback that they drafted couldn't start the first 6 or 7 games. They wanted to give him time. He's coming off a major injury. One thing has really jumped out to me the last 2 weeks on Tua, and maybe it's just I'm watching him a little different. He does the little lefty release. The fucking ball comes out fast. He is not like you and I were BSing about Nick Mullins earlier today. I was like, God, it takes forever for the ball to get rid of.
Why is he always getting hit as the ball's being thrown?
Tua, even though it comes around, it goes quick. It's like woof, and the ball's out. Now the ball, once it's in the air, I wouldn't say he's throwing like 98-mile-an-hour heaters, but he's throwing fast enough, and the ball's released quick enough, and the rhythm and timing in his offense, like maybe he is the kind of lefty Drew Brees type. Like that is, and he's a little more athletic in movement stuff. He grows on you every week.
Yeah.
And then you realize, like, yeah, he was a great player. We all loved him in college, and then you just start dissecting it, I think, when a guy gets injured. And then the other two guys, like Herbert is more physically gifted, but Herbert threw a really bad pick today.
Which is bound to happen because he's got to make so many plays.
Yeah, to me, those guys went back-to-back picks. And if you would have told me when the season started, like, I would have been like, God, the Chargers are way more suited to kind of hit the ground running for a rookie. Ton of talent everywhere. They're going to be solid. It turns out, they're just kind of a joke. Not necessarily their players are. Like, I watch them. They play hard. They got a lot of talent, but they're going to somehow go like 4-12. Like, to me, there are 4-12 teams, like a team like the Dolphins last year or the Giants or just some bad teams. The Jags aren't going to win many games. Like, you understand it. The Chargers going 4 or 5 wins is inexcusable. I mean, it really is. The Dolphins winning 9 games is Tomlin's going to win the award, you'd think. I mean, they're undefeated. I'd have no problem if you told me Brian Flores, if they were to make the playoffs, won the Coach of the Year award. Because like Tomlin, everyone acknowledges he's a really good coach. Who even knows that award means that much. But I think for Flores to win it, it would really be like, this guy deserved it.
Yeah.
Coach of the Year.
They might get to 9 wins in 3 weeks because their schedule, they play Denver, the Jets, and the Bengals. Those are the next 3 games. And then they still have 4 games after that against the Chiefs, the Pats, the Raiders, and the Bills.
So wouldn't you say worst case they're going to be 8-4?
Yes.
Just if you go at law averages, they're going to drop a game eventually. That 8-4. If you would have told me at the beginning of the season the Miami Dolphins are going to start 8-4, I would have bet $1,000 against you. I mean, that's not even believable. Am I crazy? Is that even believable when the season started? They'd be 8-4, and they're not 8-4, guy. They beat the crap out of the Niners.
They're doing this with two quarterbacks, or Fitzpatrick's doing all of this? What is going on?
They dominated the game today. Like they play well. It's not like, remember that year with Tebow? I was like, how are they doing this? The Broncos. This is like they're kicking the crap out of people. The score to me was much closer than the game was.
Yeah, look, and I don't nothing. My Herbert opinion didn't change today, but I think you said this. We did a video a couple weeks ago about Tua, And some Dolphins fans commented on the video, like, you guys don't understand how good our receivers are. These guys don't even know who we have. And I like, okay, I'll be open-minded. Let me go double-check who they have. And the answer is, yeah, we do understand how good the receivers are. They're fine, but you don't have superstar receivers. But I do think the one thing that I wondered for sure, and I think we talked about it, just Tua, would his athleticism translate to NFL speed? So far, what I've seen, the answer is yes. Like, it is translating. So I think it's great that he doesn't have to put up big numbers. Like, Herbert has to put up big numbers for them to have a chance, and they still can't close. This team.
Where I think the organization is going to get a lot of credit.
Do you agree on the Dolphins receivers, by the way?
Yeah, Guy. I mean, they're Jakeem Grant, Devontae Parker. Like, that's like maybe Grant's better than I give him credit for. But Devontae Parker has been Devontae Parker in the league for 5 years. Like, he's a talented guy. At most, he's probably like a 3. They don't have a number 1 wide receiver, and you could argue they probably don't even have a number 2 wide receiver.
I mean, Gesicki is, right?
He's actually decent.
But he's not. But he's a tight end.
Yeah, but I'm saying he's a good he's a receiving tight end.
Yeah.
Like, I like him. The Tua thing is, I got to give, like, look at the way the two organizations handled the kids. One guy was thrust into starting when he was clearly dramatically better than the other guy. But the only reason the other guy started was because he got a punctured lung, Tyrod Taylor. The head coach clearly did not want to throw him in there. He thought that Tyrod Taylor was much better than Herbert, which is insane. It was like, what are we doing? The other situation, Fitzpatrick actually was good. Like, Tyrod Taylor would die to be as good as Fitzpatrick. But, like, they slow played it. In fairness, I was against it because I said, well, you guys, he's healthy enough to you, but they slow played it. They waited till the bye. Like, it was kind of a clinic on not letting the outside noise, doing the right thing. The Chargers, that symbolizes the franchise.
Then you kind of played your way into what seemed like a more difficult decision, even though we didn't think, we thought, yeah, it's easy. It's time to go to Tua. But they were winning games. It makes it hard to sit down Ryan Fitzpatrick and tell him you're not starting anymore.
It just feels like a very well thought out
for sure
business operation.
Could have traded him and chose not to. Just like, let's keep him around Tua.
Where the Chargers, they would get credit of just like most impressive seasons. Like, if that was an award, the Dolphins would probably be one right now. If you just went like biggest joke this year.
It feels accidental.
Yeah, I mean, the Jets probably have the market corner there, but the Chargers ain't far behind them.
No.
You could say, listen, I watched the Jets. These guys suck. The Chargers have 2 more wins than the Jets. Like, you could argue they're equals when you just factor in all things being relative.
Yeah, and you would just look at it and go, well, you guys saw these guys practice next to each other and didn't go with this guy?
Yeah.
Which at the time, from the outset, I was like, okay, but that was clearly wrong.
I'm buying Dolphin stock, guy.
Well, we talked about them last week because they were what? Were they like a 3.5 point favorite this week?
I didn't realize the schedule. God, how are they going to miss the playoffs?
Well, it's just
back into the schedule.
Yeah, the back end of their schedule, and just Cleveland 6-3, and like the 6-3 teams are good. Like, the AFC playoff race is good, right?
The difference, though, guy, is you just listed off those 3 teams. If they were to get to 9-3, the Raiders, for example, play the Chiefs. Boom, they'd already be.
Well, yeah, if they get to 9-3, yeah. But like you said, they could go 9-3 and finish 10-4, which would be incredible, or 10-6.
But even like, okay, so they're at 9-3 after the Bengals game. Then they play the Chiefs, 9-4. They're better than the Patriots. 10-4.
Yep.
The Raiders. And then the Bills. So I guess they could lose out, but they would get to 10-6.
Yeah, I know. But it's just Cleveland, Tennessee. Like, this is the NFC race is good, kinda, because it feels like everyone's gonna make it in some way in the NFC. Right? Like, if you go look at the NFC standings, like, there's a line.
7 teams.
Yeah, it's like perfect. In the AFC, it's 9. It's Tennessee, Cleveland, Miami, Vegas. 2 of those 4 teams are not making the playoffs.
Well, at any moment, we know with the competition committee, they'll be like, actually, we're just going to do 10 playoff teams a conference. Let's just play playoff games in January.
It's fine with me. Like, treat it like bowl games.
Yeah, just
if you're 500, you can be in.
Let's just keep playing games. Let's keep making money.